We are Memphis area, waiting on a fuel flat. You got me in reflection. I think my camera's clean. There, a little better. Anyway, we're down here below the mouth of the lake, waiting on fuel flat, and we got to pick up a barge. Traffic coming down, all kind of good stuff. All the parking places were taken up there above the lake, so we're down here below, waiting to get some fuel here at Memphis. It's a little cool tonight. I think I got good signal, but ooh yeah. The airplane. Thought it was a weird noise coming by. Airplane flying over. Some weird noise out there. That's what it was. But yeah, we just now arrived. We got, like I said, we got to pick up a barge. We got to take on some fuel and water. Oh, that there. But yeah, we've got. Yeah, pick up a barge, stick out there. But I'm just leaning into the bank right here below the mouth of McKellar Lake, down here below Memphis a little ways where we get our fuel. Like I said, fuel flat's headed on out. I'm going to take some fuel and water. It's so cool out though. Wind not quite as bad, little gust, but not quite as bad as what we've had it. Boy, it's cold out though. Gee, man, it is cold out. Whew. A little cool. Oh yeah. But I had somebody earlier today ask about that barge. It's a loaded barge. Somebody want to know why that barge set low. That's a loaded barge over on the outside. We've got two loaded barges actually on that string. We got right there and there. Howdy from down under. Man, I've been getting lots of Australian watchers lately. I don't know what's up on the Australia folks, and I was listening to a podcast about. That's crazy because I was listening to a podcast of I don't know. Now I'm curious what it was for my Aussie folks. Hold on. The Human Hubble. Yeah, that was what it was. The Human Hubble expeditions.
A day or so trying to find a good point.
Yeah, that was it. Let's see. The Hume and Hubble expedition of 1824 established some of the earliest known knowledge of European colonists that had about the interior of the Australian continent. That's what I was watching. That's stuff you didn't learn in history class, stuff you missed in history class. Yeah. Anyway, as you can tell, I've had a little coffee in me already, so yeah. But that was kind of crazy. My Australian watcher on my YouTube right after I'm watching or listening to a podcast on Australia. I had some experience. I've had the mayor of Melbourne stayed at our house in southwest Oklahoma. We had quite a connection with the Australians. My dad he stayed on leave there when he was in Vietnam in '67. He took leave and he went to Australia. He took he yeah, I can't remember. It was on R&R, and he was in Australia for stayed on a sheep farm for some reason. I don't remember what the deal was with that. And then we had exchange student from Australia. My stepsister was all stayed in. She did. Yeah, she spent time in Australia. We had quite a few. There was a connection in the little small town of Southwest Oklahoma. I had with Australia. But like I said, I don't remember what the deal was with the mayor of Australia or mayor of Melbourne visiting. There was some connection with that exchange student John Peterson who ended up working for the World Bank, and I don't remember. We had there was a lot of crazy dignitaries and people visiting the family. My aunt and uncle. He yeah he had some kind of influence, and I don't remember what the deal was really. Why we had the I do remember Mayor of Melbourne stayed at the house there for some reason. Was there visiting, but yeah, in the small town of Hobart. There's quite a bit of stuff that happens in that small town. The Tommy Franks Museum definitely has drawn attention from folks. We had the president or the king of Jordan made a visit to our small town before. Who else was there? It was well, we've got Lewis Sims, who is a hometown fellow, lives there. Uh, yeah, somebody that I appreciate that. Somebody mentioned Northern Australia isn't that far from Vietnam, and the sheep country is everywhere. Hell yeah, that was that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm just reading some of the comments on that. Um, but yeah, we had quite a connection with the Aussies. Oh, I forgot we had a guy that worked that was a farm guy. We had a big farm in Southwest Oklahoma, a big wheat and cattle farm, and we had I was young. We had an Australian guy that was from a big farm family in Australia from a big wheat farm, and he moved. I can't remember what the deal was. He came to the United States to learn more about our agriculture and farming and stuff, but he worked on the family farm. He worked on our family farm. Um, Peter Woods was his name. And he was about as country as it got Australian, and he came and stayed with us and worked on a farm. I learned so much from that man. I forgot about that experience. Um, but yeah, we had. Oh, I was before I got interrupted. Lewis Sims. We in a small town in Southwest Oklahoma, Hobart. Got the one of our residents is Lewis Sims, and he was the head of the Secret Service during Watergate, and he went on to be one of the big international whatever big wig CEOs of Pennzoil, and then he went to work for Interpol. He was a big wig at Interpol. But he's retired. Fellow lives there in Southwest Oklahoma, town of Hobart. Lewis is a great guy, man. I feel real honored to know Lewis and have had him as a friend. I actually talked business dealings with him. Me and a buddy were going to open up a donut shop, and he was giving us advice back in the day. But yeah, Lewis Sims. He was head of the Secret Service during the Nixon era. I've tried to get him to do an interview before on my YouTube channel, and he will not. Actually, he gets really he got bristly with. He's a super nice guy and is super great, small town fella, man, great to talk to, and yeah, that's what I say. Somebody says Betty can tell some stories. Yeah, he was there during Watergate, and I've tried to get him just to talk, just to tell about his time, and yeah, he felt he didn't want to do that. He didn't, and he's an older fella now. But he didn't want to do that, but and I actually got bristly one time when I was talking to his wife, trying to get in touch with him about some stuff. But he's a really neat, interesting fella. and he's super, super nice, man. He used to come. I remember he would like be at all the little functions. He would be at any kind of local functions. He was always there and stuff. So anyway, my ramblings about um, all the folks there, and it is a crazy the when you get to talking to connections of the connections I have or that we have here in the southwest Oklahoma town of Hobart. It's kind of crazy some of the connections. This last weekend, my cousin Bill, golly, my cousin Bill Hancock, he's married to my first cousin Nikki. He's head of the BCS. He was the one that handed out the trophy during the national title game. Bill Hancock, y'all can look him up. And my cousin Kathy, who's a federal judge in St. Louis, appointed by Clinton. Y'all don't cuss me. And then what else? Man, there's quite a few connections with our small town that I have connections with. I don't want to say brush you with fame. It's not necessarily it, but just connections, family connections to folks. But yeah, Lewis has always been. It's always intrigued me that this little southwest Oklahoma town, and we've got such a prominent historical figure that played a part in history, lives in that little town, and just normal fella, man, normal fella. There was a lot of stuff when Tommy Franks he put his farm he retired and moved out that area too, and he's got a farm out there. And I remember back when Donald Rumsfeld would come visit him and stuff like that before Rumsfeld passed away. But Franks had quite a few big dignitaries would come out there and visit him, and he's just a local man. You know, some of these big figures in history and political figures and stuff, it's kind of neat to see that they're just really down to earth, normal Americans in their day to day. They just want to be, and that's the way Tommy Franks, see him walk around and be like a farmer. I never did see him walk around. Let me clarify that. I hadn't been around home enough since he's been there, but I see stuff in the pictures of the local paper and stuff, and he seems like he's around enough. But they've got a festival in the summertime and different things like that. Festival of Freedom or whatever it is we got there. I'm rattling off about a bunch of stuff I don't know really that much about now, talking about that Festival of Freedom. Anyway, see, it's a lake. It's a Fletcher right here. He's coming out. That's our fuel flat. And these boats are waiting above mouth of the lake. They're doing tow work. Keith Darling, Ron Hunter, and it's right down around the turn from the bridges and stuff. So you go up around here, and then City Front's right up here. See, we're 11 miles from City Front. It's on up around the corner. We're down here by the lake. But yeah, kind of neat. Anyway, not too much to show, more me rattling than somebody. I'm sorry I'm not seeing all the comments, but Murphy Sand and Dredge, Algiers Four-Way, safe. All right, George. Hey, take care, brother. Be safe down there at Algiers Four-Way. Down there at Algiers Lock, be safe, brother. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's about a normal wake up after midnight. I've got my second cup of coffee in me. My mind's clear. So, yeah, I lost signal for a second. Somebody want to know if I was going to run the Illinois River this summer or this winter. No, absolutely not. If I get away with trust me, I got the winter videos that I was up there. That That's work, y'all. That's work up there fighting that ice up on that Illinois in the winter. It's not fun. That's where I got my start, though. So there's part of me that's kind of a, I don't know, feels like home when I get up on that Illinois River. It's odd that it feels that way to me, but it really does. There's certain areas that, familiarity and that definitely that Illinois River. It's strange to me that feels like home to me, but it does feel like home to me up there sometimes. Anyway, yeah, not much to show. Yeah, man, y'all are putting some comments on here. I didn't read them all. How do you get 8 hours of sleep a day? Actually, I can get more sleep on a boat than I can at home. The 12, it does seem weird. I get that a lot. I get that a lot because a lot of times I'll schedule posts and I'll upload stuff after, it does that while I'm in bed. I kind of automate some things, but and it does seem weird the scheduling, but I really can. If I was talking to the chief about that today, when I'm really monitoring I can tell when I'm not getting my sleep. It starts wearing on me. I was tell the Apple Watch, the sleep trackers on the Apple Watch would help out a lot. I gave my Apple Watch away. I need to get another one, but the sleep trackers help me out a lot. I really try to get. I mean, to be real honest, my goal is to go down there, get everything done where I can lay down and get a good solid 4 hours to 4.5 hours, and I'm doing good. I mean, I can work it to where I can get 5 hours of sleep off watch if I try, and that's making sure I got everything done. And I go down there and I don't mess around. I turn my phone off and I lay down and I get some sleep. Sleep management of sleep on a vessel is something that is critical and crucial to well-being, health, everything. Man, it's the key. I fought that so much when I was man, I was young and dumb, man, young and dumb. But I fought that so much, man. And then technology crept in about when my career was starting to kick off, and yeah, it was just, I don't know how many times I stayed up, watching shows or this, that, and other, and then had to fight it the whole next watch. And once you get behind on your sleep out here, it's a pain in the butt to catch up. Um, but yeah, I spent, I would say, quite a bit of my career a very tired young pilot, and I've learned from that quite a bit. That's a priority. That's a priority when I'm on a vessel is my sleep. It's one thing that I have control over that can really affect my performance, and sleep is key, y'all. Sleep is key. It's something that I've had an issue with. I don't mind telling about early in my career. I fell asleep at the sticks, y'all. That's something that's embarrassing. I didn't realize how prevalent it was until later on in my career. It's one of those things. It's yeah, it's embarrassing. It's terrible. Say you fell asleep at the sticks, but not only that, when it happened to me, I was convinced my career was over. I didn't realize it was a problem that the industry was dealing with. I did realize a little bit, but I didn't realize to the extent of it, the problem that it was. I think it really, man, I just put that back on personal responsibility, man. I didn't blame the industry for this, the way things are. I think they tried to. There were studies where they tried to do the 3-man watch, working 8 hours and 8 hours and having a 3-man rotation on a boat. That's just not really inefficient. And to be honest, it was what I heard feedback from guys that did that sleep study, and they said they had too much time. It was like they had too much off time on the boat. That was that was a lot of the problem. It was too much off time, and they seemed like they didn't get over the period of time, it was restlessness and not, and I'm sure that if they incorporated some physical activity, that would help improve that. But yeah, sleep, man. Sleep on a boat is key. It is. It took me. It's sad that it took me as long. It took me as long to get that down in my long to figure that out. But yeah, your performance is
What channel you got there, Fletcher?
directly related to your sleep. And that's that Fletcher headed our way. I'll tell you what, it's something. It's a priority of mine.
You on the side, Fletcher? Yeah, Fletcher, go ahead.
It's a priority of mine now. Is my sleep, and it's very important. And there's times, man, it just don't. There's
Yeah, I got you. Y'all have a 15, 40 weight on there? Oh, yeah, we have tons of them. Okay, all right, just checking in. Appreciate it. All right.
Anyway, yeah. Listen, I get sidetracked to go listen to stuff. Yeah, the regulation. They heavily regulate. They regulate it out here too. It's 12-hour days, but the thing of it is regulating it, and documenting it and having the time. But it's actually what you do, the personal responsibility of getting that sleep. But that's the thing. I don't mess with sleep anymore. If I get on a boat and I've traveled, and I don't drive tired. That's what I just want to stress. I don't. It doesn't matter. I don't drive tired. I just do not do it. It's not something that I do. I'll pull over and stop it, even if it's something that I've done to. If I haven't been responsible with my sleep and I haven't been, taking care of myself and I'm tired, I don't put other people at risk by driving tired. That's a pretty shot. That's that's with me driving a boat or driving a car, man. That's where it gets real dangerous real quick. But yeah, I don't jeopardize other people's safety by my irresponsibility. I pull over, man. If I've got to tell my boss, if I've got to do whatever I've got to do, man, I pull over and get to sleep. Lie on the log if you have to. Whatever you got to do, man, get to sleep. Pull over. That's something that I don't play with anymore, man. I don't jeopardize the safety of myself and others because I haven't been able to get good sleep. I will pull over, stop. I've got on a boat on crew changes. I've got on a boat. I did up there at Winona. Can't remember. It's been last year or two. I did one of those long drives and got on a boat up there at Winona, Minnesota, and yeah, I got on the boat right at watch change, and them guys were up there ready to do tow work, and I said, I'm going to sleep, tie me off. And they thought I was joking. They thought I was joking. I was like, no, man, y'all kick back. I'm done for the night. And that's what it did. I don't try to do that. I want to be responsible to my employer and try to give them their time too. There's that. But, a lot of those crew changes, that's just the way it works, man. And, anyway, I'm rambling again. But yeah, the sleep's it's a huge thing out here. But I put a lot of the responsibility on the individual. I put that responsibility on myself because they can dictate it. They can make laws on stuff. But if you're not getting your sleep, it don't matter. That's it. It comes down to personal responsibility. Yeah, somebody says push the envelope. I used to push it a lot more, man. I really did, and to be real honest, it took some close calls, and it took scaring me to help me realize what I was doing, man. I've had some close calls. I fell asleep at the sticks, y'all. And if that's ever, any of the guys that have ever the towboating, the thing of it is, it's more prevalent. I don't want to make it sound like there's a bunch of people nodding off up and down the river all the time, but it's more prevalent than what I realized when I was dealing with it, and I would have other pilots and stuff talk to me and let me know, they'd been in that situation. It's that type of deal. Man, there's been, when I was in my young career on that Ohio River, it would just be dead quiet, and I'd fight it and fight it. There were some mornings that it was, I mean, I literally would do walking laps around outside the wheelhouse in the cold just to get me alert. I don't, if I'm to that point now, I pull over, I pull over. If I'm having to do, radical things to keep myself alert and awake, I'll pull over. That's just the way it is anymore. That's a Fletcher. I'm just watching that Fletcher coming. He coming out the lake. Yeah, that's the deal. One of the trucker guys saying, that's the thing, man. I mean, you can push the envelope, but eventually that stuff's going to catch up to you. And I was very fortunate in a lot of things, man. Being a young, dumb pilot, you put so many people at risk and don't realize it. And yeah, I did a lot of young, dumb stuff. But that's the deal, man. It's the performance, man. I want to give it my best. And man, as a young pilot, you struggle so much with learning stuff, and the learning curve's quick, and you're trying to pick up this and that and other. And man, if you're, kicking a leg of support out from underneath yourself by lack of sleep, it just sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Hard lessons to learn, man. Man, I would be an amazing young pilot if I knew the stuff. Yeah, but that's the way it goes, man. It takes time and experience to learn some of these lessons. Hold on, somebody got. I'm trying to read back through. The dead man. Yeah, they've got the dead man switches. Somebody mentions those. They've got those set up on there's different setups. We've got them on here. But they're so ineffective. That's a dead man. They've got them set up to where you have to move your sticks every now and again, or it sets off the audible alarm. And then some of the ones that I've seen too they'd have like a sensor right up here above you, and if there's no movement over a certain amount of time, those things are effective to an extent. I don't know how River, man. That's there were just long stretches on that, and I don't mean to single it out, but there was long stretches at Ohio River where there's not a lot of it. It's just monotonous. It's monotonous running when that water's pool stage, and you wouldn't meet boats, and yeah. I rode boats over there that was set up, but it wasn't ideal. I mean, it was when those systems are working, if you weren't hitting it, moving that stick, or wasn't conscious of it, I set a general alarm off. I think it was on that stake bar, because I was using the bathroom. I was back in the corner. Sorry about that. I need to blow my nose. Hold on. Let's set this up here. We got the Fletcher coming our way. Get him on here shortly. Or on fuel flag. I wish there was more to show. Get me rambling. That's a Fletcher coming our way with our fuel and water. There he is, coming at us. What is cool out? Anyway, I don't know how much fuel we'll take. We hadn't taken fuel since northbound. We took fuel down there, New Orleans, down there in City Front. So we'll take a fair amount of fuel. I think this old girl. I don't pay attention to fuel readings and stuff. Running backwatch. I was gonna ask the chief today. I think this girl's got the EMD 710s on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a 710 vessel. And I don't know. I think somebody asked the other day, and I was saying 6 to 7,000. Usually on a hard. This is on a hard northbound shove. All day, all that stuff. Those are those fuel burns I equate to that. But this old girl, like I said, on a hard northbound, I think 6,000 to 7,000 gallons a day. Grace, somebody was like, give a shout at Grace. I don't think I'll be up at 4. I don't know. I say that. I'm not sure where we're going to turn out of. If we'll turn out of Cairo, if we're going up to St. Louis. I'm not for sure on that. I hadn't literally looked at orders. I know we've got orders to go on up to Cairo. See fuel flag coming around. He's going to go on our starboard side, so he's coming around our stern. Spotlights are no. These are Xeon. They don't have the carbons are a thing of the past. Yeah, the carbon lights. Somebody mentioned to me carbons. And that's actually, you can tell that's kind of dim. And see, it's got a little spot in the center. That means that bulb's probably fixing to go out. Those bulbs are, I don't know, I'm thinking like $1,500 a piece or something. But yeah, there's Xeon. Anymore, these are all Xeon. The carbon, I haven't dealt with a carbon. What it is the carbon. It was two pieces of like big carbon that was about as big around as your finger, and they would pinch together and they would create an arc between them, and that's what we use for searchlights. But those carbons would burn up after about an hour or two, and you'd have to go up there and change them. Now then, they've got these Xeon spotlights, much better. But yeah, I hadn't dealt with a carbon since I was on deck on the old Lois Sand. Yeah, in the 90s. I hadn't dealt with a carbon light since then. I'm really fortunate though with some of those things. I came out here like towards the end of an era before the electronics and the technology really started ticking up. When we're still using carbon spotlights and such, you can see the reflection of city lights, Memphis lights there. I've really considered myself really fortunate the time that I started out here, because it was the end of an era and it was the start of an era. It was in, the technology was just coming into play, and I think it's neat. I think it's neat that I didn't learn how to steer with that. I learned how to steer with the radar and paper chart. Those things are, it's crazy to think about some of that stuff nowadays, but with the new technology, it's hard to even comprehend how we did some of the things we did. That's a pretty moon. Oh yeah, see, you get some pretty scenery out here. Fuel flat coming up alongside. Yeah, the technology, it's changed the game. I'm a fan of it. I know, man, I get in the technology, and it's the downfall of the blah, blah, blah. Man, change happens, and I've seen the changes happen out here. And it's not all great, man. Some of the changes aren't great. But it's inevitable, so that's the way it is. Guys coming along. I bet we burnt quite a bit of fuel. I'm curious. Hey, Ian.
No.
Hey, that chief done there by you?
Roger.
How many gallons of diesel we taking on? I'm just being nosy.
Around 30.
That answered my question. All right, cool. Around 30. We're taking about 30,000.
What's that?
So we'll take about 30,000 gallons of diesel. Take about 30,000. So you get tied off on side of us. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. But yeah, Chief said we take on about 30,000 gallons. I knew it'd be fairly good little amount since we haven't taken on any since we left New Orleans. So yeah, get our fuel. Oh, look at that. See.
Yeah, we get that gallon there, I guess.
Mm-hmm. See, look, it's tied off.
Two more.
Anyway,
Ain't nobody out here yet. Not a foot.
hey, a few flats out there, you?
Right, no.
No, he was there.
A little bit more. Alright, awesome.
Get tied off with the Fletcher. Yeah, we'll be fueling for a little bit. 30,000. That'll take a little while. So, give me a little time to sit here and chill. And some of the subjects I talk about. I will say this, and I don't have a problem talking, y'all. I don't have a problem talking at all. And I just grabbed the camera. I mean, it's me talking in the wheelhouses. Just turn the mouth on and let it go, y'all. But some of the subjects that I bring up, we've talked about everything. I've been on here for 38 minutes, and I think we've talked about everything from Australia to sleep. Well, well, keep things interesting. No wonder there's a fuel shortage. I don't know about the fuel shortage, but yeah, we use a lot. 30,000 gallons. So, yeah, that's a big fuel bill right there, isn't it? That's considerable. Anyway. Well, I don't know what else to capture tonight, y'all. But I do have a good signal, and it's hard to not capture stuff and not rattle a little bit. But yeah, 4 truckloads. Yeah, that's four truckloads. That's that far. That's a pretty good. That's what I was thinking too. 30,000 gallons from New Orleans up to here to Memphis, shoving 7 long. That's not bad. We hadn't had any. It's the 2 loads. Oh, and I think I mentioned that was in one of the videos. I mentioned that was wheat. We thought that was a wheat northbound wheat. It's not. It was scrap. It was just we had something marked wrong. We had the commodity marked wrong, or it was marked. Everybody knew what it was, but it was just marked wrong on the orders, and so we corrected that. The shipping stuff, the shipping rates, that's by ton mile. They charge by ton mile, and I don't know what the rate is. It's so many cents per ton mile, and that fluctuates quite a bit. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. How long will it take us to fuel 30,000? Probably a couple hours, hour and a half maybe. Depends on how fast they pump, but I think generally about they putting trash off. It shouldn't take too long. I heard him say something about the Picos. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, face wire. I'm getting face wire. Ordered a face wire, I guess. But see, we got the trash on the stern. The guy's back there hauling trash. We put trash off and all that. Anyway. That's it, y'all. I really don't think there's much else to capture. I'm gonna get off here and do some paperwork. So let's see. Somebody want to? We can take on fuel midstream. It's something that was more common. Somebody wants to know if we can take fuel. Yes, we can take fuel with a fuel flat alongside. We can take fuel underway. It's not as common now as it used to be. Used to that was like standard procedure, but I think they've kind of slowed that up. It's up to the wheelman, but we're stopping here for tow work anyway, so yeah, it works out better. I prefer to stop and take fuel just because it limits the things that can go wrong. But I know back in the day we used to. That was standard operating procedures to take fuel underway. And yeah, we can. But like I said, we're doing. We got tow work. We got to pick up a barge here anyway. So yeah, I prefer to stop. I really do. I prefer that. Unless somebody throws a fit about it, I won't. Anyway, all right. That's it for now.